So my question to Hink is like, why you go straight to women putting you in your place? It's really giving you hate women. Like,
He the only person on the panel putting somebody in their place, popping off,
putting people in their place. I don't live like that. I don't even know. I don't subscribe. So I don't even know what y'all talking about. It went on a whole nother tangent. I don't argue with people. I don't put them in their place. I don't feel the need to put anybody in their place. Who am I to say what their place is? Like I don't even live like that. So I'm gonna have a whole different thinking than this conversation. JR, the videos you picked today are interesting. What I will say about the second video is the man, he was talking about, like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to put somebody in their place? I feel like that too. I don't want to put nobody in their place. That's not my job. I have way more important things to think about and do than trying to put somebody in their place. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I feel like this is an elementary thing. Like, maybe you wanted to do this in high school, but as grown people, if you want to walk around putting people in their place, you're not making enough money.
So yeah, I would have to agree. In real life, I don't really think I have to. I'm also in a classroom, so you of course have students, but there's a way to do that professionally. As far as adults, I really don't surround myself with people. I'm not a confrontational person. Unfortunately, I haven't been in a situation where I've had to, I guess, quote unquote, put people in their place. The only thing I'm going to argue with you about is my kids in my family, something that really means something to me. Unfortunately, that hasn't been a situation. As far as being on these platforms, I love having open dialogue with people, getting people's thoughts and their opinions on things. And then I accept what people tell me. Obviously, if I have to rebuttal, I'll rebuttal. But it's not about putting people in their place. I'm more like what you just said, JR. I may hit you with facts, or give you an example, but that's not the point of me being here. My point of being here is just to have an open conversation so I can better understand you. You can better understand me, why we think differently. Maybe we can come to a common place. I don't know, but I'm just not in situations where I have to put. Now, if somebody comes to me inappropriately and I don't know you, I will kindly redirect you or say something, like, no, that's not, but I'm just not going to be that, whatever that is.
It's not feminine. Trying to put somebody in their place, that's not feminine at all.
It's for what?
But I will say that you in a school, and I'm sorry, Day West, I'm gonna just say this real quick. I will say in a school environment, you still, and I would hope you still put your students in their place when they step out of line. I think that the wording is what may be causing the confusion in it all. But you have to have structure, right?
So that's the reason why I didn't want to touch on school, because I said I will handle that in a professional manner. This is outside of my profession. What I do professionally is totally different what I do in reality. In real life, how I handle kids, how I talk to kids is totally different from how I talk to adults. So I didn't even want to get on that. But as far as my interaction with adults, people who are, I try not to. I don't handle confrontation. I kind of like balance, I guess. We wouldn't be having this discussion. It doesn't matter to me that much unless it is affecting my family. Or something close to me. That is the only time I can see myself having I'm gonna, I guess, use quote unquote, put you in your place. Like, you don't touch come from my family. But other than that, I fortunately haven't been in that situation.
So, it's funny that we're talking about this. I think we might be confusing two different ideologies, right?
Sure.
Because I looked up what it means to put someone in their place. Because I was just sitting here like, well, what the fuck does that actually mean? I'm answering the question, but I'm like, well, what the hell does that actually mean? And basically, it means to lower someone's self-esteem or humble an arrogant person. So I'm like, if you, so
Like, say the
should be.
definition one more time.
It means to lower someone's self. Now I've read a couple of them, but one of them I came across is to lower someone's self-esteem, humble, especially an arrogant person. Another one that said to say or do something to show someone that he or she is not better than the other people and should not be acting in such a confident and proud way. Or you show them that they are less important or clever than they think they are. So, and I don't think that applies to exactly what we're talking about here, because I even answered it wrong when I said, say for instance, somebody I called, you know what I mean, Day West out of her name. If she checks me on that, that's not her putting me in my place. That's her saying, hey, you did something wrong to me, and I don't like that you did that. Or for instance, when Shan was talking about handling her students or disciplining her students, that wouldn't be her putting them in their place rather than correcting a bad behavior or something like that. So if that's the definition of putting people in their place, then I think Hink is kind of right, where you don't deal with people like that. You can't, if you spend your life trying to humble motherfuckers all the time, you running the wrong race.
That's fair.
Sure.
So you're saying, so from a structural perspective, are you saying that if someone that is and again, I think it's the wording from a structural perspective, if let's say your son, he steps out of line, right? And you put him back in his place of him understanding that he's a child and you're the adult, you're the father.
Interesting take. I think that's valid. Yeah.
That's how my grandmother would say, putting people in their place. I think I was taking it from the standpoint of, old school, putting people in their place, without looking at the dictionary, the Google.
I'm gonna be real with y'all, because when I was thinking about it, the more I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute, do I even know what the fuck that actually means? So, but the way that Viz, positioned it as well, I think, the way that he positioned it, I think there's a level of protection there. Also, there's well-meaning.
Exactly.
Because if your child does, I'm responsible for my son. So anything he goes out there in the world and does that's outside of a child's place can directly not only affect him in a negative way, but then it can affect me.
Absolutely.
So, but I mean, that's valid. Then you would technically have to,
because that's what I hear when someone says that you're putting them in their place. That means they stepped out of line, right? So if you're out of line with what you're supposed to be doing in that position, then it is a necessity for whoever is superior to you to put you back in your place. That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, so let's look at it from this standpoint then, because I get that we're talking about hierarchical situations, right? For instance, workplace, teacher-student relationship, parent-child relationships. What about kind of, if I'm going to look at it within the context of what the guy is talking about, you at the airport and you getting into it with somebody else and you're trying to find a way to humble that person or put them in their place. I think that's where it might fall apart.
That's ego.
It can be perspective and whatnot, different situations for everything. But hold on, I got a couple things to say. Okay, so boom. To even begin with, when we talk about putting somebody in their place, we wasn't talking about age group, we wasn't talking about sex or nothing, right? So also, we already said that this platform, we're trying to teach others, people listening to us and whatnot. So my question to Hink is like, why you go straight to women putting you in your place? It's really giving you hate women. Like,
he the only person on the panel putting somebody in their place, popping off and putting somebody in their place, two totally different things. And that's what I said from jump. And now all of a sudden, I know the definition of putting somebody in their place, but we answering the question wrong, and everybody like, "Oh, Cookie, well, if you feel like no, because I don't ever."
It looks so, the optics look so bad.
So finish your question, ma'am.
Hey, she's not here right now, but I did want to ask you.
No. The woman that started actually, Cookie just interrupted. I ain't worried about her.
Sorry.
Dave West is here. Finish your question, man.
Oh, my question was just pretty much why the topic wasn't based off of sex. I'm trying to figure out why you went straight to a woman popping off and really just indulged in what you were saying, like, and then said, like I said, this platform is to teach others. We're listening to us, and you said the woman is beneath you. Or were you saying like whoever's popping off at you is beneath you? Were you like speaking in general, or are you saying women are beneath you? Because I kind of didn't know where you was going with that.
You love you some Hink, and I don't blame you. But let me answer your question. So this is what it is. When I say what I said, most of the time when we see in reality, it's usually a lady trying to check a man or a woman trying to check another woman. You don't see dudes out here, Jay, I'm about to check you. We not doing this. So I gave an example of what I experienced before. That's where they came from, if you must know. And the fact that you sit there and say, I hate women. No, I don't hate women. I don't hate you at all. I may not like some of the things you do, but I don't hate you. I love my lady, and she loved me. That's the only lady I really need to care about, really her and my mom, my daughters. Other than that, it doesn't matter to me.
No, she asked you, did you think that women were beneath you?
Oh, I said it. I said that.
Humbling, the definition that Sweeney gave. My phone died. But my whole thing about it is I started it off and then I felt a direction towards me, but I've known what the definition of putting somebody in their place was from jump. Remember, I'm the educator. Sweeney had to remind y'all what it was. And I'm sitting here like, I ain't never put anybody in their place on. Somebody's tried to put me in my place on the internet. I don't do that outside of here, and I don't do it on the internet. Do I pop off? Absolutely. Internet is completely different from popping off and putting somebody in their place. I'm not humbling nobody, but what you're not going to do is try to humble me because I have a vagina or because you don't agree with anything that I say. And just because I give you pushback on that does not make me the villain. So let's keep talking about how and how he always help us. Women this, they beneath me. That's what putting somebody in their place. That's belittling. So don't define Cookie as the belittler on the panel, please.
So
I just thought I'd throw that in there. Sir,
I'll say this,
thank
and
you.
Who did that?